Tonight, the debris that points to a deadly end to an underwater expedition to the Titanic. Findings of a frantic search in the North Atlantic.
That was the first indication that there was a catastrophic event.
And new questions about the sub's safety record.
I'm struck by the similarity of the Titanic disaster itself.
A somber ceremony to identify the seniors killed in the Manitoba bus crash.
Hearts are broken, families are grieving.
Shared grief in a shattered community. Plus, an Olympic hopeful carving a new path.
It would be so much fun to represent Canada.
A teenage surfing sensation and a dual citizenship dilemma.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. 111 years after one of the worst maritime disasters in history, 5 men on a risky journey to see that wreckage of the Titanic are presumed dead in another underwater catastrophe. There is new information tonight. The U.S. Navy detected sounds consistent with an implosion on Sunday, which means it may have occurred soon after the sub began its descent. Now it will be up to the U.S., Canada, France, and Britain to determine who will investigate and whether to recover the victims, including the CEO of OceanGate Expeditions, Stockton Rush, who spoke last year about how he felt Titan defied industry standards.
And, I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
We have comprehensive coverage tonight of a tragedy already prompting difficult questions about extreme adventure and the cost on others when things go wrong. CTV's John Benavelli-Rao starts us off from St. John's tonight.
4 days after the Titan submersible headed off on its deep dive to the Titanic, and we now know the 5 people on board very likely died less than 2 hours into their voyage after this remotely operated underwater vehicle launched from a Canadian ship discovered a debris field on the ocean floor.
The debris is consistent with the catastrophic loss of the pressure chamber. Upon this determination, we immediately notified the families.
Officials say nearly half a kilometer from Titanic's bow, 5 major debris pieces were located, including a nose and tail cone and the front and back ends of a pressure hull. The debris also lines up with the location of last communication, suggesting the sub broke apart during its descent.
The size of the debris field is consistent with that implosion in the water column.
It appears the extreme pressure deep in the ocean, almost 4 kilometers down, suddenly collapsed the hull. In a statement, the sub's operator, OceanGate, wrote, "This is a very sad time for the entire explorer community and for each of the family members of those lost at sea." That includes British businessman Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son, Suleiman. His aunt says the teen was terrified to go, but wanted to bond with his dad.
He had a sense that this was not okay, and he was not very comfortable about doing it.
While sonobuoys dropped by a Canadian military aircraft had detected underwater banging sounds earlier this week, officials say they don't appear to have come from the submersible, and they note they would have certainly heard an implosion. The sonobuoys were in the water for 3 days, but no catastrophic events were detected, suggesting the sub was lost on Sunday. The U.S. Navy now says it picked up an underwater anomaly that same day. As for whether the bodies can be recovered,
we'll continue to work and continue to search the area down there, but I don't have an answer for prospects at this time.
Reflecting on the sub's controversial design and wealthy tourists using it to visit the wreckage, Titanic filmmaker and James Cameron today said this.
I'm struck by the fact that somehow, individuals, companies have managed to miss the lesson of Titanic itself. What was Titanic saying to us over all these years, whether it's in my films or the many documentaries and so on, which is heed the warnings. Don't be arrogant. Don't think you're smarter than nature. and those were the warnings of Titanic. Now we have two wreck sites adjacent to each other that both represent, in my mind, recklessness.
There are currently 9 ships at the scene, but the U.S. Coast Guard, which took the lead on this, says many of them will be standing down as of tomorrow, though underwater vehicles will continue to scour the sea floor looking for more clues as to what happened. Omar.
So many questions. All right, John, thank you. The investigations into how this happened will take time and may point to some warnings ignored in the past. Here's CTV's Adrian Gabriel.
ID Christen, Titan.
Celebrated as a breakthrough for ocean exploration.
This technology is what we need to explore the ocean depth.
Just 5 years after making that bold statement, OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush is now one of those presumed dead.
These were people that were trying to push the boundaries of what we know.
But there were concerns over the safety of the vessel. A former OceanGate employee settled a lawsuit after he claims he was fired for criticizing the submarine's lack of certification, and says he warned tiny cracks could grow with each dive under such pressure. A friend of Hamish Harding, who was on board the Titan, says he canceled his planned voyage.
It seemed that they had no intention of getting any certification for going down to those depths once, let alone several times.
Is it possible that this thing was up to the challenge on the first few dives, but having done several trips to the bottom of the sea, was no longer as strong as it needed to be?
CTV science and technology specialist Dan Riskin believes that investigators need to look into the Titan's unique construction, which included the use of both titanium and carbon fiber.
When you take any material and you stress it and then release it and then stress it and then release it, it can get fatigued so that it's not as strong as it used to be.
It's a very active experience.
In 2017, Stockton Rush shared how excited he was to take part in the explorations with CTV News.
One of the benefits of being the CEO, I get to do the first dives and most interesting dives. To me, this is like exploring a new planet, and so I've been waiting my whole life to do that.
In another twist to this tragedy, the great-grandparents of Stockton Rush's wife died on board the Titanic, choosing to perish together at sea so others could find safety. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
1 week after a devastating bus crash killed a group of seniors on their way to a casino, we are learning who they are. 16 lives lost. Parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, teachers, and friends, most of them from Dauphin, Manitoba, where tonight a memorial service was held for the community to grieve together. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel on this solemn day of remembrance.
One by one, family members and first responders placed photographs of the people lost in the bus crash, each placed on display during a somber ceremony in Dauphin.
The word tragedy has been used a lot over the last week, but never has that word had as much meaning as it does when we look at the photographs that line this room.
Once all of the pictures were up, RCMP read the names of all 16 victims who died.
Ann Hill, 81. Rest in peace, Mom.
In some cases, families sent messages to be read aloud about their loved ones, what they meant to them, and the impact of the unimaginable loss.
Helen Coufflet, 88. We are heartbroken and numb by this tragedy and the loss of our vibrant mother, Baba and Great Baba.
They are from Dauphin and the surrounding area. A week ago, they were on a day trip to the Sandhills Casino near Carberry when the bus they were in collided with a semi-truck.
The next few days and weeks and months will be difficult. We have lost a tremendous amount of our families, our friends, and our neighbors.
First responders who were at the scene were also in attendance for the service. So too was Premier Heather Stephenson.
I did have an opportunity to meet with some of the families earlier and, yes, give them those warm hugs.
9 people remain in hospital. 4 are still in critical condition. As the city and wider community continues to mourn the 16, people are coming together to support one another with compassion and words like Dauphin Strong.
What we're doing as a community is now that we understand who's there, we can grieve with them on a personal note.
In terms of the investigation, RCMP say both the bus driver and the semi-truck driver had proper licenses. And while the mechanical analysis is ongoing, at a preliminary glance, there are no glaring issues with the bus. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Dauphin.
Millions of social media users could notice a key change on their feeds after tech giant Meta revealed today it is making good on a threat. It confirmed that news availability will be ended on Facebook and Instagram for all users in Canada prior to the Online News Act taking effect.
You can't have this huge company, even if they're big, they're powerful, they have big lawyers, all of that. They can't come here and tell a sovereign nation, a sovereign government, what to do with their own bills.
Let's bring in BNN Bloomberg's John Ehrlichman to break this down for us. So, John, this bill, C-18, which received royal assent today and is now law, requires the likes of Meta and Facebook to pay news outlets for posting their journalism on their platforms. How soon could users start seeing Canadian news blocked?
Well, Omar, despite the fact that this is now law, this will be a process. It could take months. Regulation still has to be sorted out. The Heritage Minister is leaving the door open for a conversation with Meta executives, not unlike having a conversation with Google executives. In Australia, we saw tensions between government and tech executives and some common ground reached. But the language from Meta today is a reminder this is a company that has not historically leaned into the idea of paying publishers directly. We already know, Omar, the federal government's stance on this. And since we are now talking about law, unfortunately, in the months ahead for Canadians who want to access news on Facebook or Instagram, they may be unable to do so.
All right, we'll see where this goes. John, thank you for this tonight. A 48-year-old man was charged today in the unsolved murder of an Edmonton woman back in 1996.
Advancements in the DNA technology allowed us to develop that profile and get to the evidence that was required to make an arrest.
Joanne Ghostkeeper was found strangled to death at her apartment on Christmas. She was 24. A humanitarian delegation will head to Syria later this summer to meet 4 Canadian men held in prison for suspected ISIS members. The mission, led by a member of the Senate, wants to put pressure on the government to bring them home. Here's CTV's Judy Trin.
A Canadian senator is ignoring government warnings against traveling to northeast Syria.
If there is a risk, and that will be an ongoing assessment.
Senator Kim Pate and human rights advocates want to document the dire conditions of Canadians detained in camps and prisons operated by Kurdish authorities.
Children who are reportedly eating sand because they are so nutritionally deficient, about women who were trafficked into the region, and about scores of men who are crammed into airless, sunless dungeons.
The delegation will try to see 4 Canadian men if they get access. The men are in jails for suspected ISIS fighters, but have never been charged.
The current strategy not only imperils human rights, it perpetuates insecurity. The proper course of action would be to pursue justice here in Canada.
Sally Lane's son, Jack Letts, has been detained for more than 6 years, the longest of any Canadian.
In January 2018, Global Affairs Canada told me that they were doing everything they could to secure the release of my son. However, this was a lie.
Lane did not get answers about her son, but beginning in 2020, under pressure from the United Nations and lawsuits, Global Affairs began repatriating women and their children. About 20 have been brought back. Once they landed, some were charged with terrorism-related offenses. Last month, the Federal Court of Appeal ruled that Canada doesn't have a charter obligation to bring home the men. Having lost a federal appeal, Sally Lane is now taking her fight to the Supreme Court of Canada. She believes her son Jack is still alive, even though she's had no proof of life since 2019. Omar.
All right, Judy, thank you. At least 4 people are dead and 15 injured after a tornado tore through a small town in northern Texas.
And we could hear the porch being ripped off the side of the house. Then we could hear the roof being ripped off.
This is what's left of Matador, the damage stretching more than a kilometer. Businesses and homes were demolished by hurricane-force winds, leaving most of the town without water or power tonight. A man who was once denied entry to the U.S. over concerns of religious freedom violations is getting a red carpet reception in the country tonight. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is only the 3rd world leader to be hosted by the Bidens for a state visit. The gala dinner with a VIP guest list at the White House was the highlight of day 1. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malbin on the diplomatic efforts that are part of a strategic geopolitical move.
Not every leader gets this kind of treatment. U.S. President Joe Biden pulling out all the stops for India's Prime Minister.
Prime Minister Modi, welcome back to the White House.
Greeted like a rock star, Narendra Modi's swing through Washington is about beefing up both economies, billions of dollars for technology and defense deals, building fighter jet engines in India, even joining the American-led space mission back to the moon. And Modi did something he's never done as Prime Minister. He took questions from reporters.
Democracy is in our DNA.
On Capitol Hill,
there are millions here who have roots in India. There is one behind me.
but some lawmakers boycotted Modi's speech to Congress, angry over India's crackdown on its Muslim minority and press freedoms. Biden insists he's not giving Modi a pass.
The Prime Minister and I had a good discussion about democratic values.
Even though India's doing business with Vladimir Putin buying Russian oil, as one president knows, diplomacy, well, it's complicated.
But you had to do business with them because they're important for national security reasons, a range of economic interests.
Biden wants to deepen ties with India to counter China's growing influence. American attempts to ease tensions went off the rails when Biden went off script, calling China's leader Xi Jinping a dictator.
Of my choosing and avoiding saying what I think is the facts, I don't think it's had any real consequence.
In Modi's speech to Congress, he brushed aside human rights issues, instead calling the U.S. and India the defining partnership of this century. Omar?
All right, Joy, thanks. China has ordered an urgent investigation into a gas explosion that killed 31 people. Smoke and flames rose from this barbecue restaurant last night ahead of a long holiday weekend. 7 people were also injured in the blast caused by a leak. Time for a break, but when we come back,
I'm for it. You know what? Write the grievance.
Taylor Swift's concert tour and the complaints far and wide, plus a surfing phenom forced to ride a citizenship roadblock. A powerful hailstorm pummeled concertgoers in Colorado, leaving nearly 100 people injured. Fans of English singer Louis Tomlinson ran for cover as massive hail pellets rained down. For Canadian fans of pop superstar Taylor Swift, it's shaping up to be a cruel summer. Her international tour won't include a stop in Canada, and that has even prompted a swift response by federal politicians. CTV's Bill Fortier explains.
With her U.S. Eras Tour already well underway, Taylor Swift will begin the international portion in August. Recently announced stops include 18 countries, 4 different cities in the UK alone. But in Canada, not a single show. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. For fans, that's a problem.
Not too happy about that. It hurt my heart. There's got to be like a Vancouver, Toronto at least, right?
Edmonton MP Matt Genereux was swift to respond. He filed an official grievance with the House of Commons on behalf of all Swifties in Canada, asking for Swift and her team to reconsider.
I'm for it. You know what? Write the grievance.
Do you think it'll help?
I doubt it.
It does certainly feel like a snub.
But music industry insider Alan Cross says there shouldn't be any bad blood.
This doesn't make an awful lot of sense unless there were no venues available in the scheduling.
In Genereux's letter of grievance, he also claims Canadian shows could bring in $4.6 billion in economic spin-offs, though it's not clear what that estimate is based on. But when it comes to economics, maybe Canada should be careful what it wishes for. In Sweden, superstar Beyoncé was blamed for an uptick in inflation when her tour dates increased demand for hotels and restaurants, driving up prices. For Canadian T-Swift fans, none of that really matters.
Hopefully, you know, there's more dates to come.
They are holding out hope the international superstar will change her tune and decide she belongs here. Bill Fortier, CTV News, Edmonton.
Hopefully she is listening. After the break, iced out. Why NHL players will no longer wear pride jerseys. The NHL says its players will no longer wear themed sweaters during warm-ups, including pride jerseys. The move comes after several players and teams chose not to wear rainbow-colored jerseys last season, which the league says became a distraction. Teams will still host Pride Nights. The next stop for young basketball star Victor Wembanyama will be the San Antonio Spurs.
Victor Wembanyama from Nanterre, France.
The 7'4" center was picked first overall in tonight's NBA draft. The 19-year-old, described as a generational talent, dominated the French elite league this season.
Accomplishing something that I've been dreaming of, my whole life.
Many believe Wembanyama is the best prospect to join the NBA since LeBron James. After the break, Surf's Up, riding the waves in pursuit of Olympic glory. A teen surfing sensation who is dreaming of representing Canada at the Paris Olympics in 2024 may not be able to because of bureaucratic red tape. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver explains.
When 15-year-old Erin Brooks is on a surfboard, there's nothing that can stop her. It's here riding the biggest waves that she's happiest, and that love for the sport shows in her quick rise in the ranks.
The thing that I love most about surfing is getting to be in the ocean every day and just getting to travel the world with my family.
Brooks started surfing about 6 years ago, and her 4 to 6 hours of practice every day has already helped her master difficult aerial tricks like this. An accomplishment leading many to call her a trailblazer in women's surfing.
Girls are really starting to push themselves in airs and bigger waves, and it's really cool to be a part of it.
Next year, Brooks hopes to compete for Canada at the Paris 2024 Olympics. She has the talent, but her citizenship could stand in the way of that dream. Brooks was born in Texas and now trains in Hawaii, but her dad is a dual Canadian-American citizen with family still in Quebec. She applied for a Canadian passport in 2019, but hasn't gotten it yet.
It would be so much fun to represent Canada. I never felt a big connection to Hawaii or America, and everyone in Canada is so nice, so I'm glad to represent a country of nice people.
The head of Surfing Canada is optimistic Brooks' citizenship will come through in time for Paris and says her incredible talent brings hope to other Canadian surfers.
It's great to see someone so young that can actually bring that mission, that vision to life, that, hey, you know what, just because you're in Canada doesn't mean that you can't be a world-class surfer.
I just love to push the sport, and I'm proud to be a surfer representing Canada.
And Brooks intends to keep pushing towards that Olympic dream, one gnarly wave at a time. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Incredible. That's a snapshot of this Thursday. John Ehrlichman will be here tomorrow. For all of us at CTV National News, good night.